All right, it is knife time. Once again, coming to you this beautiful Bowie Thursday morning here from Junker Forge, and it is a lovely morning. I'm wearing my crockett tooth necklace. My buddy Reggie got me. That's right. I known Reggie over 20 years, man. And we worked together like 15 of those. Crazy, man. Good dude. He went down to Costa Rica a few years back, and he got me a crockett tooth necklace, and I really like it. I hope someday that I can make my own crocky or gator tooth necklace from wrestling a big old beast. Today we're going to get into a piece of Donnie Junk history. And there was a period in time in my life where I could not have a knife for quite some time. And when that time period was over, I was like, you know what? I'm going to get me a big old badass Bowie, and I'm going to pack that thing around all over the place because hell yeah. And so this other dude I was working with, he was showing me the joys of MySpace and Amazon and all this stuff. And I was like, dude, this Amazon thing is wild, you know? And this is like 2009-ish. And yeah, I've had this thing going on 16 years in my possession. This is the Rattler Outlaw Bowie. And my buddy was showing me the Amazon Prime. And so, of course, the first thing I'm looking at is knives, because I'm a knife weirdo. Always have been, always will be, till the day I drop. And I saw this thing back then in 2009. This was $18.37 on Prime. And I was like, what's Prime? He goes, oh, you gotta pay this fee, and you know, you get free shipping and stuff. I'm like, well, you ain't getting free shipping. And he's like, no, it really works out, it's cool. And I'm like, I don't have none of that. And he goes, well, I'll tell you what, buddy, you give me a $20 bill and I'll order that for you, and I'll get a chocolate milk with the change. Because this dude lived on Marlboro 100s and chocolate milk. I cannot lie. This dude, that's all I ever saw him put in his body, except for one time I seen him eat his mom's spaghetti. I swear to God. Anyways, so my homie, he ordered up this Outlaw Bowie by Timber Rattler, and he put it in his toolbox. And a few months down the line, when I could have it in my possession, well, hey, I took possession of it. And I was so happy. This was my knife, man. And the same dude, Bob, he ordered me this little weird M-Tech knife that looked like a grenade, and it had this really wide clip on it that worked like a money clip. And I'm always great at losing things, so he's like, here dude, you can put your money in this. I was like, oh, thank you. So I had two knives in the whole world, a shitty little M-Tech and this. And this went with me everywhere. And it was the second day I was allowed to own and carry and have this in my possession. And a good friend of mine was staying up in this rowdy ass neighborhood that's above Reno. And he needed to go to an oral surgeon that day, and he had no wheels. He had a motorcycle, and he was too sick to ride. And he was like, bro, can you please pick me up and take me to the doc? I was like, I got you. I had this old bucket ass van, and I didn't even want to go into that shady part of town in my old bucket van because I knew there would have been troubles with the man. So with my big old giant Outlaw Bowie strapped on my hip, I asked a lady friend of mine, hey, can I use your truck to give my buddy a ride to the dock? She was like, yeah, dude, no problem. Because I'd been doing some work on it for her. And so I go, and it was a nice, newer truck. Nice F-150, no dings, dents, no taillights out, no mix match, nothing. Nice, clean ass white Ford truck. And I'm heading up into that bad area to go pick up my buddy. And I'm kind of looking for the address, you know. I hadn't figured out maps yet. I don't even know if maps was a thing then. And I hear whoop, whoop, whoop. And I look, and I'm like, oh no. I was getting pulled over. I was like, oh no. Well, since it was my friend's truck, and I didn't want this sheath flopping around and beating up the interior of their nice new truck, I had taken this and I'd set it in the sheath on the floor, right? No tin windows, nothing, just obviously in sight, laying on the floor. And it was just laying there, and the guy comes up to me, license, registration. Does this vehicle belong to you? I said, you know it don't belong to me, man. You ran the plate. I ain't a lady. And I hand him the registration and the insurance and my driver's license and all the things you do when you get pulled over. And he's like, do you have any weapons in the vehicle? I said, well, I have an edged tool on the floor. He's like, get out of the vehicle now. I mean, this dude, gun out, tripping out instantly. Get out of the vehicle now. And I'm like, oh Lord, wait till he runs my name. I'm getting in some trouble, man. Oh my God, what's happening? I'm just trying to do a good deed here. He pulls me out of the car all crazy like, and he's like, you're on drugs. And I'm like, bro, I'm straight edge. At the time I was full straight edge, man. I barely drink caffeine, anything, like no drugs, nothing, no alcohol. Training every day, you know, like, I got goats jumping around. Anyways, this cop was upset with me, man. He did not like me. He saw a big old white dude in his part of town. He thought, this guy's up to no good. And so he gave me a field sobriety test and all these things. He's like, I pulled you over because you were going 27 in a 25. And I was like, oh, dude, I'm sorry, man. I didn't mean to endanger society like that. You know, and I wasn't really being a smartass because I was kind of scared, man. This guy was like, he was being really twitchy and shit, you know. He had extra monster that morning. Old Chadworth the deputy. You fucking, anyway. That's not his name. I'm just saying he was a Chad. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, well, I'm going to let you off with a warning this time. And I'm like, oh, I appreciate that, man. He goes, just know I could have took you to jail for carrying a concealed weapon. And, man, I wanted to argue with him. What do you mean? I said, I did. I said, what was I concealing? He goes, that big old knife you got laying on the floorboard of that truck. I said, well, it's not on my person. It's not my truck. I said, it's my knife. I said, but I'm not carrying it. I said, even if I was carrying it, man, there's no laws against that. He's like, you should know better. And all this stuff, because at that point he had ran my name and stuff. He's like, you should know better. And I'm like, all right, well. And then he let me go. That was my first day experience with my Outlaw Bowie. And I was like, boy, what a fitting name. What a fitting name. It really, like, sparked something in that old deputy. Boy, he was, yeah, special individual. But I tell you, these are about $30 nowadays. And still worth every penny. This thing has done every single thing a knife boy can do. It will baton. It will do all the dumb shit you shouldn't even do with your knife. There's this big old dude, makes me look like a little tiny dude on here, bear something, and he has one of these that he's been packing for years, and the guard's knocked off and everything else, and he's got all rather cool dude, cool videos. I don't know him personally, but I like his videos on the old, I got some, my wound is trying to reopen on me. Got some blood on here. Yeah, these things, you know, there's a lot of videos on this. Some people say that this is the ultimate Bowie for home defense. Some people say this is just one of the ultimate Bowies. And you know what? Per price point, you're getting a lot. It says stainless. If it is stainless, it's a very high carbon stainless because I have got rust on this thing before. Stainless. We've gotten so used to these super steels, man. Like, but even some of those, I've put Striders in their sheaths and come back to get them later. And, oh, my favorite Strider. I come back a couple years ago and it was as brown as this old Packy sheath, man. Let me tell you. But I left this thing laying out on my old boat, my old Chris Craft, for like a year outside. You know, as time went on and my knife collection improved and I was carrying $1,000 knives, and I just kind of let this fall by the wayside. And then one day it was laying out in the yard on the boat, and I was like, man, don't disrespect your steel like that. That was your first fucking steel, man, when you got your first knife. Again. These are cool if you want to get a Bowie to kind of tune and make yours. This is a good starting point for that. It is a good slab of steel, you guys. Big old, dang old, big old foot long blade. It's a foot long. It's a foot long, brother. I don't know. It's somewhere around that. I think this thing's like 15 or 16. I don't even know. It's a big, giant beast. Dude, what are we doing? Uncle John's got a tape measure right here. 16 and a half overall. And, 11 inches of that is blade. With 10 and a half of that. And this choil, man, you can really do, I know it looks ridiculous. This knife will take and keep a very keen edge. You really can choke up on this thing and use it well. Like I said, this was my knife for like a year. This was it. This was my knife. It went with me everywhere, this poor old packy sheath. Man, I can't believe I didn't have a better sheath made. Maybe the sheaths are better now. I'm sure they are. This thing is literally like a fart above cardboard, man. Like, yeah. I'm rambling today. I don't care. Going through some things here on the ranch. And just kind of want to talk this morning. And being a bit nostalgic. You can get this thing, you can give it a taper a little bit if you wanted with a file. It's amazing what you could do with a cheap knife and a file to make it cool. But this thing, I mean, I wouldn't say it's the quintessential perfect Bowie knife. I will say that this is one of the best bang for buck large knives you can get your hands on. Like, period. Very stout, very well built. Ain't gonna break on you. If you break this, man, you're special. You're a special motherfucker if you can break this. Oh man, this thing has been through it. Left this thing on the bumper of a truck and took off and come back an hour and a half later and is laying in the driveway, been ran over by a different car and everything else. Here it is. The Timber Rattler Outlaw Bowie. Yeah. Not my first Bowie. I believe I do still have my first Bowie knife that I ever got, and I believe it's at my mother's house. Next time I go visit Mama Junk, I'll grab that thing because it is actually something quite special as per nowadays. Almost 50 years ago when I got it, it was not something very special. But time ages some things like fine wine, and other things turn to vinegar. I believe that the Timber Rattler Outlaw Bowie is one of those things that ages well with time. As per it's still being made and sold for almost, actually dude, like $10 more than what I paid for this thing. Hasn't even doubled in price. If I'm wrong, let me know. I believe the last time I checked, these were 30, 31 bucks. But hey, it's a good piece of steel. If you're looking for a cool place to start out in your budget Bowie adventures in life, I cannot recommend this knife enough. No funny stuff here. True full tang. Genuine brass. Not brass plated zinc like our good friends at Marbles do. Not a piece of plastic with wood grain printed on it like our friends at Marbles do. And when I say Marbles, I mean Smoky Mountain Knife Works. Anyway. All right. I hope everybody's having a lovely day. And I'm going to get to choring. There it is. Timber Rattler Outlaw Bowie. Very special knife to me. Very groovy. Watch top knot.